Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I just wanted to quickly comment about the fight and the aftermath of the fight between Connor McGregor and Khabib Nurmagomedov. Now, it was a sensational performance by the man himself, Nurmagomedov, where really and truly everything that you thought was going to happen materialized. He dominated him with his grappling. He had no answers for him. He tried his best to take him down, to stop the takedowns, but he really had no answers. And it does show you, subhanAllah, that grappling is a very, very, very effective martial art. And so much so, really, the Sahaba, the companions of the Prophet Muhammad, used to practice this. And the Prophet Muhammad, there are narrations, and there's some dispute of the authenticity of them, but there are narrations that show that he used to wrestle himself. Like one such narration with Rukana. It was a wrestling match. Now, where the Prophet Muhammad he beat Rukana, and he established, and Rukana was shocked about this, and he became Muslim as a result of it. Two or three things I wanted to say. The Quran says, إِنَّكَ لَن تَخْرِقَ الْأَرْضِ. He says, first of all, subhanahu wa ta'ala, وَلَا تَمْشِ فِي الْأَرْضِ مَرَحًا. So don't walk in the earth arrogantly. إِنَّكَ لَن تَخْرِقَ الْأَرْضِ. You're not going to be able to pierce the ground. وَلَن تَبْلُغَ الْجِبَالَ طُولًا. And you're not going to be able to reach the mountains and heights. So with McGregor's arrogance here, we've got to be frank and say, look, he got what he deserved. Humiliation. He got what he deserved. That's humiliation. I'm very happy to see him getting slapped. And we should all be happy to see such a man who transgressed the honor and spoke about the religion and the parent, the father of Nurmagomedov being humiliated in that way. As Muslims, we have to be happy about that. And that's part of our religion, actually, to be happy to see that the a'da, the enemies of Islam and the enemies of the Muslims are humiliated. That is actually part of our religion. But really and truly, even if you're not a Muslim, you should be able to appreciate that this guy was an arrogant guy and he got what he deserved. Now, he's talking about rematch, this and that. I don't even think, to be honest, Nurmagomedov needs to do a rematch. He needs to prove himself, maybe by fighting one of the other small guys of, the up-and-comers, Nurmagomedov's boys. Maybe that's what he needs to do. But the point I'm trying to make is that we should be happy. Now, with Nurmagomedov, Khabib, he came out and he apologized, for jumping out of the ring and hitting Dylan Danis, and one of McGregor's boys. This wasn't right to do, even if, he said some really bad things and he pressed him and he pushed him, but it was adrenaline and we forgive him for that. And if we're going to forgive, and obviously we don't, but if the media is going to forgive McGregor for doing what he did in Brooklyn, as Woodley said, I think Woodley was right when he said this, doing what he did in Brooklyn, doing all them things there, throwing the that metal equipment on the coach and injuring so many people to the extent whereby he had to be prosecuted criminally for it, and he didn't even apologize for that. Then why is this being made out to be more important than the event itself? People in the post-match analysis were focusing more on that melee that happened than on the fight itself, and I think that's a disgrace. I think that is a desperate attempt by certain members, like Joe Rogan and certain people like Dana White, to superimpose, a certain narrative of a protagonist white Conor McGregor and the antagonist Russian alien, Nurmagomedov. And they've done that. They've tried to do that in every way that they've seen the ability to do that, an opportunity to do that. So what's even more embarrassing is that Dana White, he uses the footage of that criminal act that was done, that criminal act that was done by McGregor. He used it to promote the fight with Nurmagomedov. So he condemned it, but he at the same time the UFC uses that. It's just all contradictory. So I think that we should appreciate the fact. We shouldn't condemn Nurmagomedov too much. I mean, we're too harsh on our own, to be honest with you, as Muslim. We need to have a bit more bara, which means we need disassociation with those individuals that hate your religion. Come on, Joe Rogan and his ilk are open Islamophobes, open, not only about Muslims, about Islam itself. So we can't be, we can't be giving them too much space and room to maneuver here. Anyways, to finish off what I'm about to say here, there's many lessons that we can, from a religious perspective, extrapolate. One is about arrogance. Losing is not the problem. It's about what you say and how you conduct yourself before you lose. If you conduct yourself humble and you lose, then every human being is immortal and is limited. But if you're walking around, Al Quran says, as if you own the earth, and then you lose in that humiliating way, then you are humiliated and dejected as a human being. That's one. Number two, as I said before the fight, "Man tawadda'a lillahi rafa'ahu Allah." Whoever humbles himself to God, Allah raises him. So we hope that Allah can raise Nurmagomedov, because he humbles himself and talks about Allah and stuff like that. Number three, Nurmagomedov was using the word inshallah. Now what does inshallah mean? Because there's a lot of MMA fans that don't know what this means. Inshallah means simply God willing. Yeah? If God wills, God willing. So when you do that, you're realizing that there is no greater power than God. That you yourself are not a great power. Yeah? And in the same chapter where this is mentioned in the Quran, chapter 18, the other phrase is used, La quwwata illa billah, which in other phraseologies is La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. There's no strength and power except for God. When you have that kind of worldview, then it becomes less egocentric and it becomes more theocentric, if you like. So you become more in tune with your spiritual side. And from that perspective, I think all Muslims should learn, or everyone should learn from that. Even someone at a highest level, as an MMA fighter like Khabib, realizes, that God is the one who's in ultimate control. And these are some of the interesting lessons we can learn. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.